have the law enforcement element within the Find Me group dealing with law enforcement on the other end. And then, of course, if we do have an area where the psychics have indicated they think that the body is, and in this case we did, and so we go to that place where the GPS coordinates were provided, and lo and behold, Kristi's dog and Claudia's dog both alerted in that general vicinity. So I just wanted to point out the fact that all of these entities working together is what we're trying to accomplish.
And you do work together all over the country. It's not just in certain areas.
Well, keeping in mind,
you can, when you can.
I mean, keeping in mind we're all volunteers. Everything we do is free of charge, both for Kristi's group and mine. So obviously, this is a key component. We are going on a search that we'll touch on a little bit in California in 3 days for an individual we believe to be murdered and buried, and a little different scenario. This will be a land search versus water search, but the whole idea here is we work together, and we will go anywhere and everywhere as long as we're able to afford it. Number one. Number two, it makes sense to actually go there because of the significance of what the facts are surrounding the case.
In your searches, Kristi, both with Find Me and others, do you get a tremendous amount of finds, if you will?
That's all relative to being put in the right area. So I couldn't even begin to give you a percentage, but I can tell you that on the team we've never been in an area that we searched and then had somebody come back out and make a find in that area. So we haven't had a miss. Which I think is a much more
statistic.
Much more important component there. That means we're clearing our areas properly. Relatively speaking, I believe that we get a high percentage of cases that we're able to solve both with the psychics and on the searches that we do independently.
Well, one of the best cases that we worked where it gelled, almost from the second we received the case was the Ed Hatfield case, which happened here in Arizona in a mountainous area called, it was actually closer to Munns Park than it was to Flagstaff, but we were about 25 miles south of Flagstaff, and we had a general vicinity area.
I think it was a little further than that, Kelly.
Well, you're probably right. I remember it was mile marker 310 is about what I remember, but it could have been as much as 35 miles away. But the significance of this search was not only was it mountainous, and the other part was one of the things Dan brought up in our conversation last week with him was it was in a rattlesnake-infested valley. It was
sounds wonderful.
Well, yeah, but this is one of the significant attributes of Kristi's group is they do snake training for all of the dogs, and of course, obviously, the handlers and anyone that's out on the searches. So go into that search a little bit, Kristi, but touch base on the training for the dogs on the snake.
Snake avoidance, is it?
Well, a little bit close to that.
Yeah, we do snake avoidance clinics, yes. We teach the dogs to avoid snakes by sight, sound, and smell.
Get the hell away from the snakes training is what we call it.
Right. Yes, well, the nice thing is it provides an alert system for the handlers, too. One of our handlers recently was taking a course, and she was participating in this course without her dog, and came extremely close, like within a quarter of an inch of stepping on a rattlesnake. Oh. Had her dog been there, she would have been warned that rattlesnake was there. So that it is very, very important to do proper snake-proof training with the dogs because they are our early warning system that a snake's in the area.
And tell us a little bit about that so that everybody knows what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, I can tell you how we do the training and how we've found that it works is we use live defanged rattlesnakes. They are humanely kept, captured and kept, and then they're defanged safely so that they can jump at the snake, they can rattle, do everything in a normal environment for them, except not deliver their venom. So, and in doing that, we teach the dogs, to stay at a distance from them and move around them. And it is a process. You have to kind of see that to understand. And on the K9 Games website, we will have some video up in the next couple of weeks for some snake-proofing clinics that we recently did that will give people a better idea, and they're welcome to go visit that.
What is that site, Kristi? Say it real quick for us.
www.K9, the letter K, the number 9, -games, GAMES.com.
Okay, thank you. And we'll make sure that's in our website at Hear Women Talk also, so that people can go there. It's currently on the website right now, but in case someone didn't catch that. But anyway, anything else with that, the training?
Well, just the snake for the person that I am currently using, and it was it's hard to find people that train in this particular manner, but I can tell you the dogs that we did in this manner 8 years ago, we tested them, and they're still snake avoidance trained. We had a number of dogs that had been trained by, or supposedly snake-proofed by some other people and or in different ways, and those dogs were willing to go walk right up and put their nose on snakes. So I do know that the way that we're doing it works, and it's really imperative for anybody who's out, especially in the desert areas that are heavily infested with snakes, to snake-proof their dogs.
Well, there are plenty out here in Carolina, South Carolina as well, and many other
absolutely.
spots.
They're all
absolutely.
over.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, there's very few areas that are not that don't have snakes of some type. So.
What does the dog actually do so that the handler is alerted?
Well, every dog's different. My dog drops his head and he just moves the other way. Will refuse to even walk with me through that area. One of my dogs stopped in front of me and tried to push me away.
Oh my.
Every dog's different. Claudia's bloodhound, Harley, dropped her head, stared at the spot, and then slowly backed away and went around. And we teach the owners, obviously the owners have to be involved, and we want the owners to understand what the dog is telling them. And the interesting thing is right after that snake proofing, one of the trainers that actually works for K9 Games was walking his dog in his neighborhood, which is up in the desert areas, and his dog gave the avoidance behavior close to a bush. Turns out there was a snake in it.
Well, listen, we're going to have to take a break here, Kristi, if you can hold that thought.
And keep your questions coming on.
Yeah, we'll be back in just a little bit.
The chat line. Thank you.
Hi, this is Jessica Dorvaj, host of the Where is My Guru show, and you are listening to Hear Women Talk Radio. The definition of guru is to lead from darkness to light, and one who is regarded as having great knowledge, wisdom, and authority in a certain area and who uses it to guide others. Join us on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Where is My Guru show, where gurus from the areas of art, travel, creative activism, wellness, and the spa share their infinite wisdom and maybe a glass of wine. Fridays at 3 p.m. right here on Hear Women Talk Radio.
Tonight, take an adventure on the Myrtle Beach Ghost Walk. Explore the haunted swamps where alligators and the ghosts from long ago still reside. Stroll across floating walkways beneath the Spanish moss as your pirate guide leads you by lantern and shares 13 spooky tales along the way. The Ghost Walk departs nightly at dusk, only at Barefoot Landing in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call 843-361-2700 or visit MyrtleBeachGhostWalk.com for advance tickets. The Myrtle Beach Ghost Walk.
Hello, race fans. This is Jeff Gilder, creator of RacersReunion.com. When you're in Myrtle Beach, check out my favorite, the Caravel Resort. The Caravel Resort has a golf department and concierge with golf privileges at virtually every course on the Grand Strand, including the coveted Dunes Club.
And ladies, pamper yourself with Caravel's Studio Spa, featuring services such as Swedish massage, heated stone therapy, reflexology, manicures, pedicures, facials, and more. Awaken your senses with the most requested massage and spa therapies.
The Caravel Resort, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 800-507-9145. Get the best rate on the Grand Strand when you use promo code RACERS at thecaravel.com. 800-507-9145.
Hi, my name's Jesse Jordan with Further Faster Initiatives, and you're listening to Hear Women Talk Radio.
Police Psychics. Find me.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Kelly Snyder with Valerie Graham, and our guest today is Kristi Smith with the Arizona Search, Track, and Rescue, also known as AZStar. Kristi, when we left for the break, you were talking about this, that, and the other, and the snakes and the heavily infested area we were in a couple years ago when we were looking for Ed Hatfield. Explain, if you would, that particular search on pretty much start to end, if you would.
Okay. Well, that was a search in which we were contacted by the family approximately 2 weeks after Mr. Hatfield went missing. They had exhausted efforts, it seemed like, with the police, etc., all without any results. I asked the family to if I could find me, and they agreed. So I immediately contacted you guys to provide some psychic help, because at that point, other than him missing, we didn't know where he was. There had not been no way to track where he left from Phoenix. So the psychics were able to pinpoint an area, and based on where I believe the police had already found his vehicle. Is that correct? A few days before the
Well, a couple days before we did the search, yeah. Then we knew we were right on the money, because we had located the area.
Had already located that area, and then I think it was either Yavapai or Coconino County Sheriff's Department went in and they actually moved the vehicle. And the Forest Service conducted a research up there and didn't find anything. We went up and began a search one day and needed to end it due to heat constraints and stuff. Went back in a second day, and that day we were able to, the dogs were able to begin following a trail while we worked the air scent dogs out around, and we were starting to get alerts at a certain elevation change. Apparently the scent was pooling out in this one elevation, and based on that, we were able to get the air scent dogs as well as the trailing dog in a position to make the find of Mr. Hatfield, who had actually committed suicide. He had actually climbed up a tree above a beautiful valley on a cliff, and strapped himself in and had committed suicide. But instrumental was the psychics putting us in the right area. Instead of having the entire state of Arizona for us to search, they were able to give us a specific point to start, and pretty much actually a direction as well, because I think a couple of the psychics said that he was southeast, and actually gave even an approximate distance as to where we would locate him, and it was right within that area.
Yeah, the significance of that case, I do remember, was several had it within a quarter of a mile and a half a mile,
right.
And then even one of them came in with 350 yards from a certain mile marker and literally the exact direction to go, and that's where he was found. So obviously, getting back to, does this psychic stuff work, the answer to that is absolutely 100%. Doesn't work all the time, but when it does,
it sure
the significance
does.
is, then you find an individual like Ed Hatfield, and you bring closure to the family.
Well, and just like with the dogs, the psychics are a resource, and they should be used by, as a resource, just like dogs. Not every search is suitable to work dogs in, but when they are suitable, we should be using that resource. So I same with the psychics, because
what was
I can tell you the Find Me group is more accurate than any other group that any other psychics I've worked with in the past.
Well, thanks for that plug. Hey, Val, you had a